Hey guys, this is Mike89 here. I got a couple of friends with me, Greenbean
Hello, hello.
and becored,
Hello.
and we're going to talk you through Wario Land 4. So right now you're seeing 4 different videos. 2 of them, the 2 on the right, belong to me. They're kind of the bare bones of what this game is going to look like. The one in the bottom right belongs to Greenbean, and it is the current record without zips, which we'll get to once they come up. And the video on the top left belongs to becored, and that video is the fastest time, no holds barred. So, firstly, you're going to see 4 different yellow boxes throughout the stage. Each of them holds a piece of gem in it, and you need to collect all 4 of those in each stage, as well as the key. Each of those are required to progress in the game. So no matter what changes are made to the route of the stage, they always involve those 5 items, the 4 chest pieces and the key in each stage.
So a fun little thing that you'll notice is the rock animation pickup. Basically, if you jump diagonally into any enemy, really, you'll skip picking it up. And me and Becco spent a lot of time trying to get that glorious sub 120 on the intro passage. And the rock placement is actually like pretty crucial. Like skipping the rock animation is pretty crucial to getting like under a 120 on the or not under a 120, sorry, just a flat 120 on the first stage. So yeah, this is the first boss, easy peasy. Basically, you just...
my first video, you're attacking it from the left-hand side. We don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Attacking him from the right actually allows you to just run at him and not have to get like a full like cycle like right off of the like hitting him from the right-hand side into the left. Yeah,
Okay,
I went the wrong way.
About the route discrepancy there. So the way that the game is run now with the zips and stuff, because at this point the game is divided into the 4 different chambers. You have a green, red, yellow, and blue, and you can do them in any order. But when we weren't doing zips, it was like, well, the quickest way around them is to go either from green around to blue or from blue around to green. And because blue has the harder stages, you do that one first. At this point, now that the zips are a factor, you really want to hurry up, yes. You really want to get the red stages out of the way first because they have the most difficult zips.
Yeah.
And so what you're going to see now is all of the ruby stages.
They also have the most zips, so since we're at a point where like you need to get at least a zip second try to be on decent pace, we just opted for ruby first because not getting good zips will put you like as much as like a minute behind right off of ruby. Oh yeah, it should be... Oh, sorry, it should be just mentioned really quickly that the audio is coming from Mike89's 52, just because it's the longest video, so if there's anyone wondering why the sound is weird, that would be why. Fun fact too, for a long time I had a theory that the blocks were creating lag when you run through them. I don't know if it's just when you run through them, but Becco actually went and did some tests, and it turns out to be true that hitting blocks creates lag for some reason. Only certain blocks, actually. Do you know why?
Really? Certain?
Oh, is it
Does
one
block drop coins, maybe?
I thought, yeah. So I usually don't block any blocks in the second screen in the green passage first level, so yeah. I think you don't usually want to break any blocks because it causes lag.
Wow.
So that was a neat mechanic in that falling room as well. Any of the green blocks that can be broken by Fat Wario can also be broken by a super ground pound, which you have to do from at least 5 tiles up. And it turns out you can just get one of those in the space available to you in that room.
It's probably one of the biggest differences between the older runs and the newer runs that like seems really minor, but when it all adds up, it makes a huge difference, is B dashing into, like, opting to use B dashes into running. So Wario has like 2 forms of movement. There's the B dash, which is a flat speed, and then there's the R dash, which I think has 3 or 4 stages of speed. And if you hold R and do a B dash and like ricochet off a ceiling, you actually reach top speed faster than if you just run. And we got our first zip from Beko.
Yeah, I got the first try, fortunately.
So every zip costs about 3 seconds, like to just do. So every time you screw up, you lose, or you know, don't lose your 3 seconds.
So I should talk about the input for a zip. So back in 2011, there was a TAS done by a guy called Andy Mack, and he did these really amazing diagonal zips that we'd never seen before in these stages. Now, obviously the restrictions still apply that you have to get all of the chests and the key and stuff, so you can't skip too much of the stage this way. Well, except for in these 2 stages coming up. These are the 2 biggest examples of zips, this stage and Pinball Zone. But basically, the input for it is you jump up into the corner of a ceiling, then press down for 1 frame, then very next frame press away from the wall, and the one after that, you jump. And I know I looked at that at the time and thought, well, nobody's ever going to do that in real time. Well, fast forward to 2014, and suddenly Vlack is like, yeah, by the way, I found out how to do this in real time. All you got to do is pause in the middle of it and create a buffer between the input of pressing down and pressing away from the wall. So now, anytime you have a 4 or 5 tile high ceiling, you can actually do a zip. Zips always move upwards and the direction away from which you're facing.
And you can just see how much time it saves, like right off the bat with Beko getting that first zip. You just completely avoid having to wait for that snowball. Fast forward to 20XX, where you actually can do zips without the pause buffer, but it's ridiculous and nobody wants to learn how to do it except for VLAC.
Yeah, actually he can do that with the on the GCN controller, using with the sticks, that C stick and the another stick. Yeah. But it's possible.
So here you can see the top 2 videos already done. The zip in 40 Below in particular lets you skip the entirety of the return trip because there are no chests in it. But again, because we're using a pause to create the buffer between the 2 inputs, you have to pause and unpause every time you see it, and you're on the wrong pixel.
There are even there are 2 frames where you are in the ceiling sometimes. One when you're on the way up, and one when you're on the way down. So, like, Wario's momentum is considered down as opposed to up. And sometimes you'll end up thinking that you have the zip, but you're on, like, Wario's momentum is on the way down, but you're still in the ceiling, so that's like the worst, like, fake zip input that you can get.
That was good to know, actually, that a second try zip on that first one still comes out slightly ahead.
Yeah.
I've never actually done timings on stuff like that, so that's interesting to see.
And now we have everyone's favorite level, hands down, no matter what category.
So the objective in this level, in each of the puzzle rooms, you have 4 of these balls that you have to land in 4 of the boxes.
And it's really easy to mess up those ball throwing. And if you mess up it, you really lose a lot of times.
Yeah, the cycles for these are not 100% set. It's based on when you load them. So if you do everything correctly, then, you know, there's nothing to worry about. But the second you miss one, you're kind of playing this mind game where it's like, okay, will the cycle still be the same? What am I going to have to change as I go? So it's a pretty interesting level in that respect, but at the same time, it's also brutal.
I think the next room's strats is very changed.
Yeah, you're gonna see a
Actually,
lot of discrepancy here between the way everybody does it. I know for the longest time, I was getting hate for the way I did this one, and then Becco ended up switching to it.
Yeah.
So yeah, you'll see Becco actually do a lot more of the animation grab cancels for the balls than the rest of us. I choose not to do it because mostly it's like a safety thing, because if you jump and you haven't gotten it, you actually end up just like doing half the pickup animation and throwing the ball, which is like way slower than just going for the full pickup. So yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah, go for it.
now there are zips where you can change direction. Normally when you're doing a zip, you have to be holding left or right. So if you hold left, you'll move to the right. If you let go of left and right at any point, you get stuck and you cannot move. It's a complete soft lock. The only way to change direction is to jump and then switch directions while you're in the air, which is either 1 or 2 frames. It's very precise, and you might have seen when I do it, in the one on the top right, I actually prefer to pause when I'm changing direction to, again, create a buffer between inputs.
Yeah, it's the safety strat. So we're just gonna speed up through all this nonsense because you basically get the gist of it. Throw the balls into the thing, and this right here is like a huge like show of exactly how powerful the zips are for this level in particular.
Yeah, sorry guys, lagging behind.
So yeah, we got these swag sprites. Keezer's my boy. He's been my boy since day one. Been on stream since my first Wario Land run. Keezer reppin'. So yeah, we get the boss that I'm god awful at for some reason. So this is Cuckoo Condor. He has 2 phases, one where he's in the clock, one where he's not in the clock, and you're gonna see some very different strategies. Well, not super different. The gist is the same, but I think Mike may do the double egg, whereas Becco's gonna do the 1-2 and then double egg. That'll make more sense in a second when we get to that portion. So basically, you stand under his claw. The claw drops. You hit the claw and it smacks him in the head. And the point is to just not take damage, because I haven't tested this, but I'm pretty sure that taking damage during a boss also taking damage causes him to slightly delay finishing his damage animation.
So you'll notice we're always catching the eggs in the air as well.
So yeah, you'll notice the little screen like pop-up discrepancies, and that's just because menuing actually does play a small factor in what happens. like in terms of getting into the boss fight, you can actually frame perfect the menus, and that means you just won't see any text. So it's just little things that add up overall, really.
Okay, so here it's another zip in this stage, and actually it's not that hard.
I think this is one of the first zips that we actually like started using.
Yeah, because despite how much of the stage you're actually skipping here, there's no chest pieces in the first half of the stage, so you can pick them all up on the way back. See, after you pick one up, it shows you how much you have, and that was Becco's first piece.
So yeah, this like run back part is just so nice when you get it correctly, as Becco is doing right now. Like this whole part has a lot of like swag to it if you get everything correct. And yeah, so you can actually, he just went for that first triangle. You can cancel that and just throw it right away. Just little small things that, you know, all add up.
One of the things we used to do before that, when you would have seen on greenbeans and my screen, on the two bottom screens, the way that fire works in this game is unlike in Wario Land 2 and 3, where you have to be on the ground for a certain amount of time for the fire to run out. In Wario Land 4, you just have to touch 3 walls. So, by using the chest as a wall, you can run the timer down much quicker than you would if you were to go all the way from one end to the other.
Alright. My other faves level.
Everyone's favorite.
This is a great stage.
So I think we actually will get some route differences here. I don't even know if I did the new route. Becco changed the route slightly.
Oh yeah.
I think, how much time does that save? Like a second or two?
Yeah, I think it saves like seconds.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do 6-5. Mike's gonna do 6-5. Becco's gonna do 5 and then 6 here, and we're not actually gonna hit this one. And then after that, I think everything's pretty much the same. It's just that one room where it's slightly faster to B-dash into the 5 as opposed to getting the 6-5. The 6-5 is free, though, if you do it in that first room. You just hit the 6, run and jump, and you'll get the 5. So this is another neat little thing where if you R-dash and hit the 4 on, like, the last possible amount of space, you'll kill the enemy, and you can just keep going. There are 3 kind of patterns that can happen. You can kill the enemy, you can get hit by the enemy, or you can... Oh, actually, that's it.
Okay, so this is something relatively new. So if you ground pound after you hit the switch, you've actually got just enough time to jump back up and hit the same button again. And the optimal way to go through the board involves hitting something like 4 or 5 6s in a row. So there's a lot of this, and you'll see on mine on the bottom right that I'm doing 5 6s where I can, because I didn't know about that yet. I'm basically trying to minimize the amount of cycling through the...
I basically, I took that from the task and then I just changed it for normal, because I don't think it's 100% the same, like, all the patterns that we hit, so I just spent some lab time checking out, like, what's the optimal way to go down the board. I did a lot of save stating and, figuring out what the best way to hit that last room is. So yeah, once again, just gonna bring attention to just the little differences in doing B-dashes in the small hall, and like, it's really hard to see how much of a difference it makes until you actually like try running down a hall full speed, and then try doing like the B-dash in a hall. Like, it actually speeds you up way faster.
The idea is that it increases your acceleration considerably, so that you can get up to R dashing speed faster. One of the cool things about R dashing speed, actually, is that if you're in the kind of bull charge mode, then you will always do a full-size jump when you jump. It's locked. But if you let it go, what's supposed to happen? If you let R go, you'll just go back to normal walking speed. But if you interrupt that with a jump, you can actually keep most of the running speed and get complete air control in your jump too. So that's what you see a lot of the movement is. You'll build up your dash, then let it go, and jump immediately, so that you have complete control over your jump, but you've still got a ton of speed.
So this part right here with the pig artist is, there's a lot that can make it funky, because basically the speed at which you go through it determines whether that pig is going to be a problem. Let's say if you do it perfectly, you don't have to worry about any enemies. If you do it less than perfectly, the enemies may present a problem, but you can actually get him to go behind a wall, and whatever he was drawing, he won't create. So you can kind of erase the enemies if they are going to be a problem. Another thing, going back to what Mike was saying about R-dashing, Wario has this thing where if you're falling to the ground and you hold A, he will jump on the first frame possible. However, when you're running at full speed, that no longer works. So every jump where we're running at full speed is usually like a frame perfect or like 2 frame to actually get the jump and continue at full speed. There's no real safety net, you gotta give her.
This escape part is really fun. You use a lot of enemy jump, and it saves time as well.
Another thing too that we figured out fairly recently is that hills are like the worst. So I was thinking from like the way I thought about it when I was first wondering if it was really like a problem is just, you know, mathematically if you're running sideways and you're running up a hill, you're probably getting to your destination slower. So over time, we just tried to negate as many down slopes and up slopes as possible. And this is really fun. You can just go through the wall here. I don't know why. It only works on the weird crumbly blocks. So yeah, this level is another big one where you'll see the B-dashes playing like a huge part in speeding you up. This also has probably some of the best damage boosts in the game, in my opinion.
The other small acceleration tech you'll see a lot in the 2 videos on the left is anytime you are falling, it's faster to tap down to start a ground pound, because that'll accelerate you to your terminal velocity faster. So you see here in that twisty passage of left-right passages, you would have noticed that becored and greenbean were doing that, and I wasn't. You would have seen the difference between them.
Yeah, this ladder tech is also really fun too. You basically B-dash, and then when you tap opposite of the direction that your B-dash is going, it just kills your B-dash in the air. On the ground too, actually. And we basically B-dash and jump and change direction and grab the ladder. And it saves a decent amount of time. So yeah, another minor optimization is which way Wario is facing when he goes through the door. You'll see me and Becco in that room, like right before this one. When we do our ground pounds and stuff, we deliberately make sure that Wario changes direction when he goes into the door so that we don't have to waste those frames changing direction in the next room. Especially if it's after a ground pound and you're right at the door, like it just doesn't make sense to waste the frames in the next room.
This is a really fun room. It's also got those famous Mega Man pixel jumps where you have to jump from the very outside of the platforms with the ceilings.
So yeah,
in order to get around.
fun thing that just happened, when you are in, like, getting hit stun, the enemies do weird rebounds off of you, so the idea of, oh yo, timeout, the running Game & Watch sprite. Fantastic. Oh, I got derailed so hard by that beautiful sprite. Okay, Aerodent. This guy.
This is far and away the most difficult boss in the game.
This is like Cat-Bat used to be easy, air quotes on easy. You'll see probably in Mike's older run versus what Mike did in his newer run. It's all his fault. We used to have a break there, and then Mike said he had to go fast. And now Cat-Bat's harder. But back to Aerodent. So Aerodent's a big giant bear with a ghost mouse inside him. If you do this successfully, this is the only time you will have to throw the pin. You have, what is it? 11? No, it's more than that. You basically, if you can hit the mouse without hitting the bear, then he doesn't go up. Becco actually just hit the mouse and the bear. You have two chances to, like, hit the bear before you miss the one cycle. Which, I actually got one cycle there. There we go. So that, yeah, Becco got the one cycle too, but you can see that you actually do lose a little bit of time if Aerodent's in the air. Oh, Mike's also gonna get that one cycle. Nice.
Oh. No! I forgot about that. Oh, I screwed up in both of them.
So yeah, this costs you 15 seconds for not getting the one cycle. And this is just the most tedious boss fight because one missed input and it's over. Well, two technically, but it's just so rattling when it doesn't go right.
Okay, so now moving over to Sapphire. Again, this is where zipless runs start. So this is the earlier levels in the two bottom runs, but in the two top runs, this is towards the middle of the run now, and after probably the most difficult stuff.
So in that last room, none of us actually got it, but you can R-dash straight through that enemy. We'll get it on the way back. There is a backup strategy. This is also the trick that got me into speedrunning this game, back when we didn't have zips. This is the fun minion jump in the tight corridor. I spent a good 4 hours trying to make it work.
Yeah, you can see how much slower it is to use the bat.
That jump is really tricky, but once you get the position, it's pretty much doable.
Yeah, I use it with, like, I line up, there's like a stupid, like, black line in the middle that I put Wario's foot on, and once you, yeah, like Becco said, once you just know that position, you are good to go.
Yeah.
So you can see even on, like, mine or Mike's screen where if you just accidentally kill your momentum, you just go very slow trying to get back to full speed. And yeah, so in this level, there's a ghost. If the ghost gets Keezer, which is the little ghost buddy, which unlocks the next level, it shuts all the doors and is very slow and is very annoying.
So this is where the momentum becomes really important. So if you can keep it behind you the whole time, then you're gold.
So Becco actually did, I think this is the first time we've seen it so far, I could be wrong. When you stand on a chest, before the chest piece exists, you can jump off the chest and still collect the piece. So Becco used that to dodge the ghost and just get over him and go faster. And he also got the thing I was talking about on the way back, where if you R-jump, you can bop that enemy from underneath. He has a weird hitbox when you're running. Oh yeah, another small thing too about ladders. When you are on a ladder, if you tap, I think for a long time we actually used to slide down ladders. That used to be, if you press down and B, Wario will slide down the ladder. It turns out that it's actually just faster to tap B and like either left or right because Wario lets go of the ladder right away and you can ground pound. And falling speed is actually faster than sliding down the ladder and also gives you the ability to, you know, get better movement position on whatever's happening in the room. Oh, nice.
I love that jump. I'm so glad all 4 of those runs got it.
Not getting that is it just hurts.
Yeah.
So those guys swing back and forth and have a little bit of a weird hitbox where even if you land on them, you might just like rebound off them and it kills all your speed.
You have to climb up using the carpet and it makes you sad.
Yeah. So yeah, another big time difference here between runs with zips and runs without zips is you have to do this whole like change the enemies thing by going through these pipes. So they start as weird spiky things, you turn them to bees, then you turn them to bats, and you get to just fly and go get the key. But with the zips, you just don't have to do any of that nonsense.
Well, unless you're like me and you botch the zip.
And another zip to the frog switch. Also, it saves like a decent amount of time.
Yeah, Mike actually got the damage boost there that I did not get. Just, you know, saves time. Just by using as much of the iframes as possible.
I'm really curious about this swimming method now.
Yeah.
You can see I use longer strokes and you use much shorter ones.
I have been playing around with swimming to see if there's a way to make it better. It turns out that mashing was basically just as fast as trying to time it, as far as I could tell. So it just got to the point where I was like, it's not worth trying to time this, I'm just gonna smash B.
Well, I know for a fact that 30 Hz mashing it is slower.
Really?
Because that's what the very old TAS did.
Interesting.
So that's why I never mashed it.
It just goes to show you're never going as fast as possible, man. You could always go faster.
There's actually something really strange with swimming that we don't really understand yet, that you can kind of swim up diagonally.
Oh, the super swim.
Ridiculous speeds.
I have actually played with that. We'll talk about that in a second. I want to talk about Becco's crazy new rendition of this level. You can see that he just destroyed this level with crazy damage boosts, and oh, it's just insane. And even me, I haven't gotten a perfect like run through of that level with all the damage boosts, but even using half of what he's come up with, I've saved 9 seconds.
I worked on that really hard.
This is just about the riskiest screen in the entire game, because if you miss either of those jumps under the icicles, you come in here on 1 health, so you're dead. There's very few rooms in this game that can actually kill you, but that's one of them.
Yeah, it got to the point where instead of going like extremely fast on the first heart you see after, like in the first room after the switch, I opt to go a little slower and pick up that heart just for safety. So you can get the icicle skip here and get Keyser faster. Mike will probably, I'm not 100% sure about this, I actually did it. You can just pick up Keyser and like go without waiting for the icicle.
It's really risky though. I don't usually go for that. I'm too scared to do that.
Man, you gotta go fast.
Yeah.
I've always wondered, just side note, if there was a faster way to do this part. Like, like after you get the chest piece, like what is the fastest way to get to the exit?
I think we used to do that super dash to block those 2 blocks, but I don't know, which is faster.
Alright, now we get the nice, relaxing, chill level after all the madness. There's nothing fancy going on in this level. Oh, actually, no, there will be one difference between enemy throw. Yeah.
Have we talked about the input for the enemy throw yet?
No, we have not.
So all you gotta do is, with a small enemy, it's quite simple. You throw it up in the air, and then you jump as soon as you can. Now, that's not immediately after you throw it. There's actually a couple of frames where it won't let you jump. But after that, you then jump into the enemy's hitbox, and it gets its hitbox back just as you kind of pass halfway through it, and you can jump off the top of its head and get like 2 or 3 extra tiles of jump off its head. What you're gonna see at the end of this stage, just as you get to the frog switch, is us doing that off a large enemy. This is the only instance in which you ever have to do it. So you're gonna see. Now, we actually did it 2 different ways there, if you're watching the 2 at the top. I used to do it where you would jump up and do a short throw, and you would then jump into its hitbox and bounce off the top of it. But Becco and Greenbean found out that it's actually much easier if you just do a high throw off the ground. So you hold it until Wario starts flashing, and then do it as though it were a small enemy throw from there.
Technically, I think the way that you do it, it's faster, but it's also less consistent because it's just scary.
Way more
Wow, those things.
Actually, I'm not even sure. Wasn't it Dangerless who brought that to our attention?
Oh, right. Actually, Dangerous found some struts in this game.
Alright, so now you're gonna see some huge differences in this boss fight. This is probably one of the biggest, maybe Diva as the second, as the actual biggest, but there's gonna be some discrepancy in these boss fights for sure. It turns out that Mike found out that you can hit Catbat's head as he goes down for the wave, as opposed to waiting for the wave and hitting him. And that saves about 15 seconds total if you get him first hit every time.
It's not that much, actually. It's more like 5.
Really?
Yeah, it's only a second every hit.
Dude, I need to feel less bad when I don't get it then. Unless you bump him like I just did, and then it's then it's a nightmare.
So I think you'll see, because I'm pretty sure my bottom screen gets this correctly, and I think it's like a 103, something like that, if you get all of the hits normally. But if you get the bonus hits correctly, like Becco appears to have done, you'll see what time he gets. So he got a 48, and then you can see both of mine on the left are tracking for about 55. Yeah.
Oh,
So it's 7 seconds.
I see that's what happens when you if you preemptively hit Catbat, he will rebound, and it's just not a good time.
Yeah, that's another one. That's a stage where you got to be really careful on the reset. In fact, we haven't even talked about resetting yet. In this game, you reset 24 times, and all told, it saves 11 minutes. Because at the end of every stage, you have a little cutscene that plays. It's like, oh, you're awesome. But the thing is, the game actually saves your progress the instant you hit the vortex, or in the case of a boss, get the last hit on the boss. So that's all you have to do, and then you can reset and you go through the file select to get back to the game. And it's way, way quicker.
Oh man, I didn't get it, but Becco did. This is one of my favorite jumps in the game right there. So yeah, you actually, speaking of soft resets, you can run the risk of actually soft resetting prematurely and just ending a run.
And every single one of us in here has done it.
So yeah, this is the last zip in the game. Everybody actually always ends at this hall. So everybody's doing the same last level, or last hall, no matter what. But this is also the last zip in the game, so once you get this, you kind of breathe easy.
Dude, they're beating you. Aww.
So yeah, touching on Super Swim, since we were talking about it before, the next level it'll be a little bit more relevant. It turns out that what it is when you press A, Wario swims up. Basically, I don't know what the timing is exactly, but if you're like halfway through swimming up and you press diagonal and like B is free swimming in any direction, A only sends you up. The easiest way I found to do it is with the A button into B. It'll send you like at twice the speed, so it gives you the speed of your last swim plus the swim that you did. And from there, it's actually timing based to preserve that momentum. If you tap B too fast, you go back to regular swimming speed. And it'll happen sometimes accidentally in the next level when we're trying to avoid the bubbles. Just because you're going diagonal down, it's that whole going from like a linear direction to a diagonal that does something weird with the swimming. So yeah, the bubbles here are the biggest problem. You're also going to see a really cool, what I call ghetto zip. And it's just the way that the game works with having you in the wall. Becca's going to do it. He found it, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, so swimming straight up is actually the fastest, I think. Or, like, swimming up or down is faster than sideways, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow, I'm so cheating.
Oh, I got so lucky on that one.
Yeah, everybody's just playing this so safe.
Again, this is right near the end of the game, so if you're on a good run, you don't want to toss it out there.
It's funny because we say that Green Hall is like you're done, but the last two levels in this game are just as hard as the rest of it. So you'll see.
Oh yeah, just wait for Monsoon Jungle. That's so different between.
Like, so Becco right there did the cool ghetto zip where basically the way that wall's hitbox works is when Wario jumps super close to the wall, it puts him out of the wall at the height of his jump and puts you up on the bridge so you don't have to swim down. And it saves not a whole lot of time. Dude, these swag Game & Watch, man. Oh, version differences. There are none, except for the ending game credits song. That's how great Wario Land 4 is. There's no RNG,
Yeah.
and there is no difference between English and Japanese, save for the ending credits song. I will say the Japanese ending credits song is way better. But now this nonsense. The Mike Special.
Yep, this
Yeah.
one's my fault, I'm afraid.
Oh, nice. We both got that insta apple. So, yeah, you can bump into that enemy and the monkey, and he'll turn around, and if you jump over him at the right time, he'll throw the apple right at you, and then you get Biggie sized. So, yeah, we don't actually... I actually think in the current state, we use every transformation in Wario Land 4. Even in any percent. While we did try to cut out as many transformations as possible, I'm pretty sure at least once we use... No, we don't use Flat Wario. That's the only one we don't use.
Oh, right.
Except in 100%. But other than that, we use every single transformation.
So you can see my old run's still stumbling away at this bit. It's
Yeah,
so much faster. You have to learn it. It's so worth it. And it feels so good when you get it too.
And you can see even here just the difference between Mike and Becco with the slopes actually adds up a decent amount.
Yeah. So usually you want to avoid those slopes because it loses time. So I jump all of them, most of them. Yeah, I mean.
I love that this is useful. This is the secret path that's only meant to be to get a gem in super hard, and it just happens to be faster than running all the way back, which is fantastic because it means you don't have to deal with the vines again.
Zoom, zoom.
And you've seen this already.
Alright, we're coming up to our second and last boss. This guy's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. I will say though, my favorite is that Mike had this weird counting timing for fighting this boss. Where I'm just reminiscing back on the days when I would watch Mike run, and he would be like 1, 2, 3 ground pound, 1, 2.
I'm still using
I'm
that.
still doing it right now.
So
Yeah, it just works for me. I don't know why. I assume the better thing to do count either practices flashes or the
arms.
the
When the
kind
arms
of
stop
zombie
wiggling,
kills he
he's
drops.
going. No, it's when his arms stop wiggling, he will stop. He's ready to get hit. So I jump
Okay.
right after his arms stop wiggling.
So much for the free boss. 324.
Yeah, right? Yeah,
what
I
kind of
know.
time is that?
It's pathetic, dude. That's what kind of. I bet you I got zombied. Wouldn't be the first time. Alright, so this is like the kind of last level thing that has a really cool strategy that is 100% unintended. And I also love that we all got that ground pound B-dash at the beginning. So, Wario is Michael Phelps, and he basically, what you do is there's this back current that's trying to push you away. But what we do is we press A, and then you press A and diagonal up, like forward, immediately, and you can actually jump over the current. And this skips a huge portion of the level that you actually don't even get to see, I think. Not even on the run
There
back.
are some parts of it you don't get to see, but you do play through most of the stage backwards. So you don't miss out on everything, but even so, it saves like 30 or more seconds. It's really very worth it. Wow, mine are completely in sync right now.
So yeah, and you get to see another very important chest jump here that saves a pretty decent chunk of time. If you don't get that, you have to go around and down through the water and then back up. You also... Oh, yeah, no, go.
Okay. The chest jump was also found by dangerous, I think.
Yeah, that was definitely dangerous. That. So yeah, everything between the first and second pipe is skipped, and that's... yeah, it might be 2 or 3 rooms.
Just a little side note here with respect to chess pieces. It actually is possible to go too fast and miss a chess piece. I've only done it once here where I actually jumped. So, like, I think I was standing too far from the chess piece and I jumped over it. And that was really sad because it's right at the end of the run. And now I'm hoping to see, like, a huge variance in this boss fight. I'm really excited to see how this pans out.
So the biggest thing in this fight is the second phase. The second phase is the longest, and it features 4 different types of attacks. So you'll throw either like a green ball at you, a large blue ball, or a black egg, or a hammer. The objective is to hang on to the hammer as long as you can, because it will let you continue getting hits even while he's doing other attacks.
It should be noted though that Mike brought it to my attention a couple months ago that on the last hit, provided you've done everything correctly, so once you're in the like continuous hammer phase, every time you hit Diva, she skips what her next thing would have been. So the order that starts, well, okay, first thing I want to mention actually is on these head things here. If you don't throw the head right away, you will actually miss a cycle while you wait for Diva to go back to the corner. It
You
loses
also want
about
to jump on the head. Oh,
yeah, you lose about 3 to 4 seconds, and you can't actually touch the heads until they've stopped moving.
you also want to jump on the heads at the lowest point in their cycle, because they'll take a shorter time to settle.
So the order goes green thing, blue ball, egg, hammer. From there, if you hit Diva with the hammer, she'll go green thing. If you hit hammer, she skips, so then she'll do egg, and then she skips, and it kind of cycles through. On the last hit of Diva, like before you finish, like before you expose the real face, it is actually faster to not use the hammer and to just hit the ball. And this fight's pretty crazy, just because there is, like, a lot of playroom for messing up. I mean, you don't really want to, but you definitely can kind of work it out and make the bad things good. Wow, my Diva fight.
Mine's slappy.
I got ruined. This is a very hard fight, and it's very unfortunate it's the last thing to run. Did my old one seriously finish this first? Wow.
Hell yeah, do it! Do it! Oh, dude, that's legendary. Oh my god.
131.
Oh
That's not
Wow.
even a good time.
Oh, fantastic.
You guys know
Yeah.
the standard now is like a minute 20.
Oh yeah. Oh, big
It's
screen.
That's fucking hilarious.
The winner.
Oh, too good, dude. Too good. So yeah, man, that's Wario Land 4. Pick up the game. Go fast. You don't have to do zips. I'm definitely gonna enjoy this.
Yeah, it's really fun.
It's a shame you won't get to see the difference in the ending, since it's just
Yeah.
one screen now.
So yeah, shoutouts to Moofin. Shoutouts to VLAC for creating zips. Yeah, double shoutouts to Moofin for putting this amazing thing together. Not only is it Wario Land 4 being covered, but there's a bunch of other games in the queue. I know I'm just in the Discord right now, and there's a whole bunch of fun stuff on the way. Shoutouts to Mike while he's here for getting me to speedrun this game. I mean, he's the old school legend.
Yeah.
Shoutouts to Becco for making me go faster.
Nice.
Oh, fun fact about the princess here at the end. So, she actually has different forms based on how well you did on the boss fights. If there's these treasure chests in the background, as you fight bosses, if you go slow, you lose treasure chests. If you don't lose any treasure chests, you get the short-haired one. If you lose, like, all the treasure chests, you get Wario with long hair. So that's pretty fun. And also, depending on which version you play, or like which difficulty you play, you get a different car at the end.
I still prefer the second best princess.
Yeah, dude, short-haired princess is short-haired princess subpar. So yeah, unfortunately, we don't have any real official tutorials out yet for anybody interested in running the game. I've been thinking about creating one just because zips are bugging me lately. But yeah, if anybody wants to learn the game, I know for a fact that I am more than happy to give you the goods, and Becco, I'm sure any of us here are willing to help you out. This may even be the thing that makes me make a tutorial.
Do it, man. I've been making them for Sonic 3 recently. It's actually pretty fun.
It does. It seems like fun just to even give like different routes. Like you don't have to do the fastest route. Like all those, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah, it also makes you kind of conceptually think, you know, why do I do this way?
yeah, who
And
knows?
I found
you
through,
might come out
through
faster.
explaining some of my I found through explaining some of my stuff that, for example, I use the audio of the game a lot more than most other people.
Word.
So, like, oh, listen for this sound, this sound.
Dude, I'm loving this like Wario falling into the portal overlay of the credits screen. This right here is basically Wario Land 4. This is the perfect. This is everything about this game, dude. Is right here.
This is my favorite song. It's so
Oh
good.
yeah, dude, it's so good.
So who's gonna do the karaoke song?
Me, obviously. Because I'm so good at it.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, shoutouts to this amazing Wario Land 4 community while we're throwing shoutouts there. You guys are awesome. I just love it, dude. I love everything about it. I have nothing more to say than that. And if our time zones weren't so messed up, I feel like we would definitely be racing each other more. We're literally like on every end of the globe.
Yeah, speaking of time zones, so again, a big shout out to Moving, because this is a massive effort getting all of us together.
Yeah, thank you for
Disparate regions of the world.
Seriously.
All we need is a European to complete the set.
Yeah, right? Then we'll be international. So yeah, last roll call, I figure. This is the place to do it. I'm Greenbean.
I'm Mike89.
And I'm becored.
And this is Wario Land
This
4,
has been Wario Land 4.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, guys.